How prepared is America for a major disaster? It's a sobering question, especially in an era where calamities seem to be lurking around every corner. Emergency preparedness is the bedrock of survival, and the American stockpile, a beacon of hope, has always been seen as a lifeline in times of crisis. But how robust is this lifeline? Does it bristle with the necessary supplies, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice? Or is it more akin to an old, rusted anchor, weighed down by years of neglect and underfunding? These questions are not mere speculation, they are a matter of life and death. The readiness of the American stockpile has never been more critical. It's not just about having enough, it's about having the right supplies at the right time in the right places. With recent events, the question remains, is the American stockpile equipped to handle a major catastrophe? The American stockpile wasn't always on the brink of collapse. In fact, it was once a symbol of the nation's strength and readiness. Born out of necessity, the stockpile was established with a clear purpose: to provide immediate relief in times of crisis. It was the nation's safety net, stocked with everything from medical supplies to emergency food rations. During its glory days, the stockpile was a testament to American resourcefulness and foresight. It was the quiet hero in the face of numerous emergencies, providing critical aid when it mattered most. From natural disasters to unexpected crises, the stockpile was always there, ready and equipped to respond. There were times when it seemed like the stockpile could do no wrong. It was the embodiment of American preparedness, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. At its peak, the stockpile was a beacon of hope and preparedness. But what happened? The gradual decline of the American stockpile didn't happen overnight. It was a slow process, marked by a series of unfortunate events, decisions, and policies that all played their part in this downward spiral. The first signs of trouble began around the turn of the millennium. As the country's focus shifted towards other pressing issues, the importance of maintaining a robust emergency stockpile started to lose its priority. The stockpile was seen as a costly insurance policy, and the temptation to divert funds to other projects was too strong to resist. As the years rolled on, the impact of this diminished focus became alarmingly clear. Key supplies began to dwindle, and the once impressive stockpile started to show signs of wear and tear. The system's resilience was tested time and again, and each time it emerged weaker than before. The introduction of certain policies only accelerated this decline. Measures that were meant to streamline the system ended up compromising its integrity. The lack of foresight and understanding of the stockpile's importance led to decisions that chipped away at its foundations. And then, there were the budget cuts. Year after year, the stockpile's funding was slashed, leaving it under-resourced and overstretched. The constant financial pressure put a strain on the system, and gradually, the cracks began to show. The once glorious stockpile started showing signs of weakness, leaving the nation in a vulnerable state. The downward spiral had begun, and the consequences were far-reaching and profound. The collapse of the American stockpile left more than just empty warehouses. It sent shockwaves through the nation, raising questions about our readiness to face emergencies. The implications are vast and complex, but let's break them down. Firstly, the collapse affects our ability to respond swiftly to disasters, natural or man-made. Without a well-stocked reserve, we may find ourselves unable to provide essential supplies to those in need when they need them most. This could mean delays in providing medical aid, food, water, and shelter to disaster-stricken areas, leading to an escalation in the crisis. Secondly, the collapse has a significant impact on our national security. A depleted stockpile sends a message to potential threats that we may not be adequately prepared to withstand an attack. It's like showing your hand in a high-stakes game of poker. Thirdly, the collapse could have long-term economic repercussions. The cost of replenishing the stockpile will be substantial, and the strain on our economy could be immense. Lastly, the collapse raises serious questions about our nation's priorities. Have we as a nation been too complacent in our approach to emergency preparedness? Have we neglected a vital part of our defense strategy? The collapse of the stockpile is a wake-up call for America. The question remains, what will we do to ensure our preparedness in the face of disaster? So, what have we learned about the American stockpile and its collapse? Firstly, we dove into the significance of the stockpile. It stood as a symbol of readiness, a testament to the nation's commitment to protect its citizens from unforeseen emergencies. Then, we explored its glory days, a time when the stockpile was robust and equipped to handle emergencies. It was a beacon of safety, a source of national pride. However, we also delved into the stockpile's decline, a downward spiral marked by neglect and mismanagement. This was a time of dwindling resources, a period that saw the beacon dimming. The culmination of this decline was the collapse. We discussed its far-reaching implications, affecting not only emergency responses but also the public's trust in the system. The collapse of the American stockpile is a wake-up call, a clear indication that it's time for change. The future of emergency preparedness lies in our hands. It's high time to reevaluate and rebuild for a safer tomorrow.